I feel like the teachers will go there, teach whatever they have to teach, and then that's it. They don't really touch base with parents and all that. But then for private, right, the teachers really are there for your children, and they will really talk to you, like take down your number, really chat with you and that kind of thing. They're so like, you can tell that they're really into it, you know, they really love what they do.
So the video has been taken down because I think there was a lot of backlash on Nurul Aini. And the thing is, I kind of understand where Nurul Aini was coming from, but I think her words could have been worded much better. Like, you know, it was a little bit tactless to me. Now, for some context, right, in the original video, Nurul Aini was sharing that her first two kids went to a government preschool, while her third child went to a private preschool, right? And she could see a lot of difference. And a few of the examples that she gave was the fact that for her first two child that went to a government preschool, it's like the teachers don't bother about toilet training her child and whatsoever. While with the third one who goes to a private school, the teachers were the one who made the first move on asking if she wanted, if she, you know, if the teachers could start toilet training her child. She also shared that for her, the teachers in the government preschool were just like a case of touch and go. Like, they just do whatever they're supposed to do, and that's it. You know, no following up, no personal touch, you know, from the way that she was saying, as compared to the teachers that were in the private preschool. I know it's not my place, but I thought I just want to share my perspective coming from a teacher who have taught both in private and government schools, okay? So the thing is, let me just put it out there, okay? Teachers that teaches in government preschool or private preschool, newsflash, they both have to do the exact same thing. They both have to prepare portfolios. They both have to prepare evaluations and lesson plans and learning corners. They both have to conduct, you know, parent-teacher conference and stuff like that. Whatever that the teachers have to do in a government school, the same teacher have to do it in a private preschool as well. So, you know, I find that should be basic common knowledge to some parents out there. Now, what I think should set apart a government preschool and a private preschool is, you know, okay, definitely the private preschool costs much more. And why do you think it costs much more? Because there are more service that it's being provided by the preschool. For example, in a private preschool, probably your food is catered as compared to having an auntie to cook and whatsoever. And probably is air conditioned, and also probably there are extra curriculum classes that are provided for you guys without having to pay additional. And to some preschool, of course, you pay a little bit more because of the child to teacher ratio. There are some schools where you have one teacher, but you only have like what, 5 to 6 students, whereas in government schools the ratio is set to 1:8 students, or 1 teacher is to 12 students. Depending on which age you're taking lah. As a teacher who have worked in a private childcare, right? I mean, yes, the ratio is smaller, which means I get to focus on the kids much more, which means I get to do more with the kids, which means, you know, none of my kids will be shortchanged at any point of time, which means, you know, there's a lot more things I can do with my children, as in my students, right? And when I find that you have so many positive things going on for you in your classroom, you will naturally be a happier employee. I mean, this is a fact. You know, if you're being treated nicely at work, you will naturally be a better employee as well. So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's unfair for her to say that teachers in government schools are just like a case of touch and go, as compared to teachers in a private preschool puts a lot more effort. Because to be honest, there are good teachers in government preschools. There are not so good teachers in private preschools as well. I mean, there are bad apples everywhere you go. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it's what kind of teachers that your child is going to get that is the most important, I feel. But do take it into mind that, you know, there are other factors as well. The curriculum, what is provided with that, you know, hefty school fees that you have to pay. And the management, whether the management is supporting the teachers, whether there are enough resources, whether materials are given to the teachers, whether there is space provided for the teachers to be, you know, doing all these sorts of activities, facilities for the teachers to be doing their job as well as they can to the children. There are so many things that the teachers can do for the children if they are being very well supported. On a side note, right, actually, if you're talking about toilet training, right, the most important thing for your child to be able to be toilet trained is when they're able to communicate very well. And children are most comfortable at home. So naturally, children should start toilet training at home. The minute they're able to communicate, or at least communicate in their own ways that they're ready to be toilet trained at home in the comfort of their own home, that is only the correct cue time when they should start toilet training in school. It should never start with school first, and then follow up by home. Everything should always start with home first. And also, for her to say that, oh, the private childcare teachers, they pass the number around by right, teachers shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be passing out our private numbers to parents. Has it ever occurred to you that probably because you are a celebrity? I mean, who knows? In another video, she also said that the third child, tend to speak very well, when she go to school or whatsoever. A child will only speak well if they, there are a lot of factors that come into place as well. Maybe because they have older siblings to communicate with them as compared to the first child who have no one to communicate with them, right? She can't really learn it from other siblings. And also, maybe because parents have been talking to her in a proper manner. Parents have very good sentence structure and that's why the kids picked up from it. Or maybe because parents, expose them to a lot of other videos and stuff like that. So there are a lot of factors that comes into hand when you're talking about how good the child is or whatsoever. And I know I'm babbling as always, but I think it's not fair for anyone to say that, oh, teachers in a government school, it's just a touch and go. They don't put their heart and soul to their job or whatsoever. Whereas teachers in private sectors, they give their all, they have personal touch and whatsoever. Like I said, there are bad apples everywhere. There are good teachers everywhere as well. So I think some parents, should take that perspective and try not to let it, cloud your perception lah.